Everybody tells you that you need to be passionate about whatever it is that you're doing, the business that you start, the job that you have, and every single one of those people who says that is absolutely lying to you. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why. The entire goal of making money and getting rich is so that you can spend your free time doing whatever you want to do. Now, I'm going to give you guys a ton of explanations here, and this is probably going to be a half-hour long video because I'm very passionate about this topic. This topic is something I'm passionate about. Everyone who says this stuff to young people, these old people who've never achieved anything, say you need to be passionate about what it is that you do. You need to love what it is that you do. Well, that's a luxury that most people simply can't afford. Most people simply cannot afford to love their accounting job or their investment banking job. And at some point, especially when you become an adult, especially when you're a grown man, you need to understand that you have a limited amount of time that you have available and energy that you have available, especially as a young man, in order to go out into the world, make your mark, squeeze the universe for every single thing that you want, and do what it is that you truly want to do it to live the life that you want to live. Everyone has to make sacrifices. When I first got started in business and sales, specifically when I had my first sales job when I was working in fucking insurance, I sacrificed everything. I had no free time. I was studying these fucking exams all the time, and I realized, okay, I'm certainly not passionate about it, but this is something that I have to do. When I went to PayPal and I started selling loans on the phone, and I was spending 12, 13 hours a day in the office, getting in at 8:30, leaving at 9 o'clock some nights, and spending 10 hours on the phone pitching of talk time. Was I passionate about selling loans to random people over the phone? Absolutely not. But what I was passionate about was making money so that eventually I didn't have to do that. There are people who make a whole lot of money in this life, and they are not passionate about anything that they do. I know guys who do the wildest stuff, obviously all legally. They do the wildest stuff. They have the craziest businesses. Like, there was a guy that I met who was worth a ridiculous amount of money who imported rubber. Like, he imported rubber. There's guys who I know who have these crazy businesses and they're the most normal people and they do the most normal stuff, but they're stupidly rich. And they're not really passionate about what it is that they do. A lot of bankers aren't passionate about being bankers. They're not passionate about finance. They're passionate about making money. And so when you get into this game, if you learn a skill, right? If you start building the skill stack, right? When I was trying to do e-commerce when I was 20, 21, and I was doing online business and I was like trying to sell blue light glasses, what I ended up getting almost sued for, like I was not passionate about selling blue light glasses. I was passionate about making money. When I started learning how to do ad creative and all of this stuff with the e-commerce brand and learning how to do the email marketing and learning how to develop the websites and learning how to run the business, I was passionate about learning these skills so that I could make money. I was not passionate about, oh, I'm gonna sell this product and I'm gonna make this brand and I'm gonna make this thing. Like the company that you have, this is gonna be a very real statement. The company that you create, there's a lot of these founders who create these companies, they go into business, and they are so passionate about their company. And they're very, I don't necessarily have the word for it because I think that word might get me canceled. But they're very passionate about this company. They're all talking about the company and how great the company is. Meanwhile, they're getting rich on the back end. The entire point of them talking about how great the company is so that they can get rich on the back end. And a lot of guys, there's also a lot of founders specifically in like Silicon Valley and have done all this stuff, especially overseas. There's a lot of European founders as well. And they build these companies and then the company goes to zero and then they don't have anything left over. They either spend all the money or they forget the true principle of what it is they're actually trying to do, which is get rich and make money and become a millionaire or a multimillionaire or make $500,000 a year. The goal of this entire thing that you do in life, especially when you start a business, the point of the business is for you to make money. The point of the business is to not talk about how great your business is, The business exists so that the founders and the owners and the operators can get rich. Keep this stuff in mind. Because if you go about this the wrong way, if you go about it like, I'm going to make this company and it's going to be the best thing ever and it's going to change the world, you forget the process of actually, I'm going to make this company make as much money as possible in the shortest amount of time so that I can get rich and drive a fucking Lamborghini. That lesson that I just said, what I just said in this video, if everyone in business operated like this, we live in a capitalist society. If everyone in business operated like this, we would have a lot more efficient businesses. I see a lot of companies, they go and, especially companies we've consulted with, they have tons and tons of employees, like tons of employees. They have so many employees that their profit margins are 10% and they're making $5 million a year. It blows my fucking mind. It blows my mind that people think that you need to be passionate about this thing, about selling whatever it is. Like, I don't think that the guy who makes these water glasses or manufactures these glasses of water is passionate about fucking making glasses of water, about glass manufacturing. They're passionate about import, export, and distribution and getting fucking rich. Running your business like, oh, this company is going to change the world, or I want to have affordable solutions for customers who can't afford it, and I don't want to raise my prices, even though inflation is completely crippling the entire economy, and it's going to continue crippling the entire economy, and it's crippling the global economy. Even though that all of these things are happening, running a business like that and saying, oh, I don't want to raise prices, or I don't want to maximize my business to make as much profit and as much money as possible, is hustling backwards. You are hustling fucking backwards. I really, truly want you to understand watching this video. I know I'm very passionate in this video and I'm kind of yelling at the camera, but I want to get this point across. You need to maximize your business for profit. You need to maximize your business to make money. Your business, whatever business is, I don't care if you're starting a fucking agency. I don't care if you're selling blue light glasses. I don't care if you're selling ice to the goddamn Eskimos. I don't care if you're selling hamster wheels to hamsters. You need to maximize your business for the most profit as possible. You need to turbo scale that shit. You cannot stop at 10, 20K a month. You cannot stop at 50K a month. You can't get to 100K a month and say, oh, well, I'm just gonna go chill and I'm gonna go fucking Maldives, or I'm gonna go Mykonos and I'm gonna go party. The reason I'm saying that is because I made all those fucking mistakes. That being said, like, I made all of the mistakes in the book when it comes to like all this stuff. Like, I've been in the group of like, oh, we'll have this amazing product and there's so many people getting results from the product and you have thousands of customers and your business is making all this fucking money. And you're like, oh, I don't want to raise prices, or I don't want to sell something more expensive. And then like looking back on it 2 years later when I run the unit economics of like, oh, damn, I would have been an ultra high net worth individual in my late 20s if I did that thing. When I got started, I'll reiterate this. When I started selling stuff, I was not passionate about learning sales. I was not passionate about going to the fucking office every day. I was not passionate about becoming the best salesperson that I possibly could. I was passionate about making money and getting myself out of the fucking hole that I was in when I was 22 years old. When I started my sales job, I had $21 in my bank account. Before I got my first paycheck, I had $21. I had to borrow money from my mom, and I was living at my mom's at the time after school. I barely got my college degree. That's a whole nother story. And I would drive my ass to the office in a 2003 Hyundai Elantra. But I had no heat in the car. I had nothing. No heat, no speaker in the car. And I was driving this car and I was going to work every single day. And I was like, oh man, when I get this commission check, I'll finally be able to get a new car. I'll finally be able to move out of my mom's house. I'm 22 at the time. There's 22-year-olds who are doing fantastic, making 400 grand, 500 grand a month. It's insane, the opportunity that's here now. And I guarantee most of these guys aren't passionate about whatever it is they're doing. If they're 22, making 500 grand a month, they're not passionate about it. They're passionate about making money. So the lesson here is that when the money starts to come, like when I got that first full commission check and I made $13,000 in a single month when I was an account executive, I was so passionate about showing up to work every day. I was so passionate. I was like, holy shit, this thing that I was doing, where I was showing up every day and I had this discipline and this crazy work ethic because I wanted to get out of my awful situation so bad. I was so passionate. That's how I became passionate about sales. That's how I became passionate about business, about learning, about becoming the best I possibly could, because I said, if I become the best salesperson I possibly can, I'll make 150, 200 grand a year. And what did I do? I made $150,000 a year that next year. By the time I turned 23, from when I was 22, I made $150,000 in gross income, not after-tax income, but gross income. And I was 23 years old, and I remember just being like so obsessed about what I was doing. I said, this is going to be like, this thing is going to take me out the trenches. It was not some fucking crypto coin. It was not some bullshit fucking business model. I said, I'm going to show up to work every day, and I'm going to use all of the time and energy and resources that I have as a young man to go to work every day and make sure that I do the best job I possibly can, that I sell as hard as possible, that I make sure I do whatever I need to do to get deals moving forward. I was calling people. I called this one guy in February of 2020, right before Corona. I called him 400 fucking times in a month for a $100,000 loan deal. I called him 400 times. After 99 times, the Salesforce thing stopped updating. I made sure I got that deal done. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to call everybody 400 times in a month, but most of the time he didn't pick up. He only picked up about 10 times, but I made sure I was on his, I made sure I was on top of that. So I made sure every single day that I showed up to work, I was passionate about the thing that I was doing because I knew it was going to get me to where I wanted to be. Once I became capped out at the opportunity, I said, okay, I have the skill set. When I had $39.7 million in deals done, and I had 890 deals done, and I realized, I said, holy shit, I made the company millions and millions of dollars in the past year and 9 months, almost 2 years I was there. I was like, wow, I said, if I can pick up the phone like this, if I could dedicate 65 to 70% of the effort that I do here on a day in, day out basis, I will be a fucking millionaire. And you know what? That's exactly what I did. That is exactly what I did. When I started my marketing agency, I was not passionate about running a marketing agency. I was passionate about running my own business so I could make money and drive a Lamborghini. This is the reality of the situation. Most of these fucking people online, they're like, oh, you need to be passionate. You do not need to be passionate about the things that you're doing. You need to make as much money as humanly possible, as quickly as possible. And there is one regret I have in business. The only regret that I have in business is I didn't make more money faster. There could have been an alternate reality, an alternate timeline, where I would not even be making these videos. I would have been so rich, I wouldn't even be making these videos. I would probably still be shit posting on Twitter, but I would not be making these YouTube videos, and I wouldn't be putting all these messages out into the world because I wouldn't feel like it was worth it. This is probably one of the only things that I do that I'm actually passionate about. I genuinely enjoy making content like this. I am not passionate about making the business content that a lot of you really seem to like, the how to do the fucking whatever, right? How to make the 10K, make the whatever. I do not enjoy that content, but I still make it because even though I'm not passionate about that content, I know that I know more than other people about this thing. I've done it however many times over. I've done it and I know how to do it, and I've had hundreds and even thousands of people that have taken my courses or taken my products or bought my stuff over the past 3 years. I've had over 8,000 customers. You do not get 8,000 customers for info products or for courses. Teaching something that does not work. Therefore, even though I'm not passionate about making those videos and everything and explaining all that very intricate stuff, I'm passionate about making stuff like this, which are messages that I wish that I had when I was younger. You guys, especially you young guys, because I am a grandfather in this game at this point, at 27. I'm a grandfather. I've been doing this for too long. You guys in this game, if you're 18, 17, 19, 20, 23 years old, I want you to look at your life and I want you to look at the ideas that you have and the businesses that you want to start, and I want you to just go and do it. I do not want you to half step. I do not want you to just dabble with it. I do not want you to dabble with it, because if you dabble with it, you are kicking yourself and effectively shooting yourself in the fucking head. Because if you do that, then you waste time, you waste energy, and you lose honestly, the best years of your life. I'm not listening to all that stuff where it's like, oh, you peak when you're 35, 40 years old. No, I'm a young man. I'm 27 years old. I'm fucking 6'4". I don't give a fuck. I want to make as much money as possible to live the best life that I possibly can. There is so much opportunity in this world, and all you need to do to really win and get everything that you want in life is sit down at the fucking computer and genuinely try. We are so blessed to live in an era and a world where there's videos like this one. We are so blessed to live in an era and a world where there is information at our fingertips. There's AI that you can use to replicate yourself, to help you build a business in record time at light speed. You could literally do this stuff, and it is so simple. All you have to do is sit and genuinely try and not give up. But complacency steals your life force. It steals your energy, and it takes your energy from you in a way that you will never be able to get it back. I forget who said it, but I think it was Dan Pena who said it. He said, a stiff drink and a good fuck will make a man give up on his dreams, and he was absolutely right. 100 grand, you give somebody 100 grand a month and they're gonna give up on their dreams. But the thing is $1.2 million a year these days is not even enough to live on, because you're gonna, if you don't have a good setup, you're gonna pay 50% in taxes, and then you're gonna have lifestyle inflation. You're gonna move into a $10,000 a month penthouse like I live in. You're gonna buy 2 supercars. You're gonna buy 3 supercars. You're gonna be going on vacations. You're gonna be buying bottles at the club, chartering yachts, and your life gets more expensive, right? So you start to live in a world where, okay, maybe you're doing 1.2 million a year in top line, but then you don't have any left over because you went and spent it all and you fucked your money up. Because you should have sat there, you should have focused on the business, and you should have made even more money so you never have to work again. Passion is bullshit. Passion comes from necessity. And that's a very profound statement that I just made, because passion indeed does come from necessity. If you are not, you don't need to be passionate. I'll say it a million times over. The passion that I've developed in my life comes from necessity, specifically for sales, specifically for business, specifically for all of these things. If you are dead broke, you need to be passionate about not being fucking broke anymore. If you are rich, you need to be passionate about getting even richer. You need to literally be greedy. The regrets that I have in business, I don't really have many regrets in my life, but the regrets that I have all are centered kind of around the business and what I didn't do because I got complacent, or because I did something that I shouldn't have done, or I didn't pay attention to things that I should have paid attention to, or I didn't put my foot on the fucking throttle, on the gas pedal as hard as I possibly could, and hit the fucking anvil as many times as I needed to while the iron was hot. So I really think that passion is garbage. And I think that, especially as a young man, especially if you're like in your teens still and you're watching these videos, it surprises me how many guys find these videos, even though I barely get views on YouTube. It really surprises me how many of you find these videos when you're like 17, 18. Like there were 16-year-olds in my program making 15 grand a month, which it was crazy to me at the time. This was like 2 years ago too. Like there's been guys who just come through, like, and I've just met, and guys that I've worked with and guys that I know that have become friends of mine who are just like, they do these amazing things. And there's so many of you, there are so many of you who are just destined for mediocrity because you just won't try hard enough, because you won't just do the things that are required of you. I put in more effort than the majority of people. But there are a lot of guys who put in more effort than me. I was sitting at a lunch in Dubai a few years ago, and there's a guy that I know who I remember he was just starting his business, which has been a massive, it turned into a massive business. I think he's made $30 million in the past 2 years. And I remember we were hanging out and he was talking to me, and I was like, yeah, well, we're doing this and this and this. And he was like, well, how did you get to that revenue point? And I'm telling him. And then 2 years later, he just worked so hard and he only thought about the business, where he never has to work another day in his life. He never has to work again, because he worked at one thing. He didn't get sidetracked. He didn't get complacent. All he said was, I want more, I want more, I want more. I want to be the fucking best at what I do. And I'm not stopping until I become the best at what I do. And if you operated in your life where you sat there and you said, I am not going to stop until I become the best at what it is that I do, you would be richer than the majority of people on planet Earth. If you simply did not stop, if you simply did not quit, if you did not stop finding work to do and finding things to do and things to improve, if you did not obsess over the business, you have to be obsessive. Passion and obsession, I think, are probably the same chemicals that fire in your brain. If you are obsessed, you end up becoming passionate. You do not have to go and find things to be passionate about, because most people have a lot of things they're passionate about, but they are not good business models. I love clothes. I love fashion. I love playing music. I still love playing the guitar. Playing the guitar is not a good business model. Clothes are not a good business model until you get to scale. Most e-commerce businesses do like 10, 20% profit margins. E-commerce drop shipping is not a good business, especially now because Trump just put 35% tariffs on China. So you want to maximize, like I said at the beginning of this video, for profit. You need to do stuff that is highly profitable. You need to make asymmetrical bets on yourself, asymmetrical bets in markets that you see an opportunity in. You can learn everything, and with enough time and enough effort on a long enough time horizon, you can become world class at the thing that it is that you do. If you sit here for the next year and you call people on the phone and try to sell them something for 15 hours per day, I guarantee you will make at least $100,000 in profit for yourself. If you do it for 2 years, you're probably going to make a lot more than that. If you do it for 5 years, you're going to make even more money. You stay obsessed about the one thing that it is you're doing, and you make sure that that skill set that you build, that you spend your time on, you make sure that that skill set carries on for the rest of your life, whether it's sales, whether it's marketing, whether it's psychology, whether it's copywriting. You blend all these things together and you will never be broke again. You do not have to be passionate about these things. You do not have to be passionate to make money. Your goal and your job is to get in and get out as fast as possible. I don't care how long it takes. It's going to have to be as fast as possible. You get in, you get out. Do not forget that the business and the opportunity and the business model that you're in and the company that you start is responsible not for necessarily changing the world. The guy who manufactures these glasses and these cups does not change the world. He sells a commodity product, but I guarantee he has money. I guarantee he's making money. So make sure that you understand this one tenet, this one thing, which is that the business exists so that you, on the other end, on the receiving end of the business, get rich. That is it. That is the most fundamental, important lesson that I wish I took into account 5 years ago when I first started like in sales and everything. The only goal of doing all this stuff is to simply get fucking rich. So what I want you to do is, I don't know how long this video is going to be, but what I want you to do, if you want to learn how to sell stuff, I put together a script, my cold calling script. It was responsible for me generating all the money in the deals when I sold loans, $40 million in deals, $39.7 million in deals, 890 deals outbound. I've done a lot more deals than that. I've done a lot of business. Every single industry, you name it, I've done it. I've sold to it. I know all these industries inside and out. This script and this training, I put together a script and a sales masterclass video. You guys can go get it. Click the link in the description, and that will teach you the fundamentals of how you just approach stuff to start selling products. I don't care what it is that you do. I don't care if you want to sell hamster wheels to fucking hamsters or hamster wheels to pet shops. If you have something to sell or if you have a product to sell, go use this, plug and play your information. It's that easy. Listen to the training, figure out all the points in the sales process, use that. That's where I want you to start. Passion is bullshit. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. I love you. Take care.